Good morning, everyone. My name is Spencer Walsh. It's Tuesday, January 15th. Here's what you need to know this morning. We got a lot of stuff for you on Trump reportedly pulling out of NATO. He spoke of it. Take a look at the Mueller probe. Kim Kardashian is also in our show today. And yeah, that's about it for us. We got a incredible show. We have a great show, so thank you so much for tuning in and joining us here today. All right, let's get right into it. So, all right, on the show today, here is what we got. We're starting with a pretty crazy story from the world of politics, as Donald Trump is reportedly discussing withdrawing the U.S. from NATO, as President Trump privately discussed pulling the United States out of NATO several times over the last year, according to the New York Times. Such a withdrawal would have effectively destroyed the military alliance between the U.S., Europe, and Canada and fulfilled the dream of Russian President Vladimir Putin. Quoting senior administration officials, the Times reports that Trump told his national security team last summer, around the time of a NATO summit, that he didn't see the point of the alliance. So although Trump did not take action at the time, the officials are worried he might start to resurrect the threat because U.S. allies have not stepped up their spending to his liking, at least on the military. Because he always says we need to have the spending on par with everybody. But yeah, that's the thing that he has not been able to quite see from his fellow NATO members. Retired Admiral James G. Stavridis said that the former Supreme Allied Commander, Allied Commander of NATO, said that pulling out of NATO would be a geopolitical mistake of epic proportion and the gift of a century for Putin. And I really just think that's a incredibly stupid thing to do, because why would you do it? Like, why would you throw a wrench in things like that? For just literally no apparent reason. And just because they're not paying each other. That's actually a New York contractor thing to do. And something Trump has done in terms of not paying people. He's done that a lot. So hopefully he does not do that. Jerome Corsi's stepson has been summoned by the special counsel Robert Mueller to testify before a grand jury, the conservative writer and conspiracy theorist says. During a Fox Business interview Monday night, Corsi revealed that his stepson, Andrew Stettner, has recently received a subpoena. Mueller's team has focused on emails from 2016 that Corsi deleted from his computer, including conversations with Roger Stone, who was closely linked to the president and informally advised him during his campaign. Corsi said that Mueller is interested in text messages between him and Stettner, in which his stepson said that a computer on Corsi's desk had been scrubbed, they clean all away the damaging information. Corsi added, I think they think that Andrew was conspiring with me as my computer expert to destroy the evidence. They're looking for anything they can find. They're desperate, is what he said. Stone claimed before the election that he had been in contact with Julian Assange, but has since insisted that he had no contact with the WikiLeaks founder, saying it was just bragging, oh my gosh. But yeah, no, that's not going to work, because there is evidence, again, more and more, that Julian Assange has been found, that we actually found talking to Roger Stone. So yeah, that is, again, another wrinkle in this Russia investigation that still continues to unfold. And we're obviously going to keep a close eye on that for you. All right, so now to the moon. We're going to the moon, everyone, as China has successfully grown its first ever plants on the moon. So seeds taken to the moon by China have sprouted, according to the country's National Space Administration, marking the first time any biological matter has been grown on the moon's surface. The experiment is the beginning of a significant step towards long-term space exploration. China's Chang'e 4 probe became the first to land on and explore the moon's far side when it touched down on January 3rd. It was carrying soil containing cotton, potato seeds, yeast, and fruit fly eggs. Cotton seeds had now grown buds, Chinese media reports have confirmed. State newspaper The People's Daily tweeted an image of the seed, saying it marked the completion of humankind's first biological experiment on the moon. Professor Xi Zhengxin, the experiment's chief designer, said learning about these plants' growth in a low-gravity environment would allow us to lay the foundation for our future establishment of a space base. So, yeah, very interesting. Pretty cool pictures on the People's Daily China account over on Twitter. So, yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Laurent Gbagbo, Ivory Coast ex-president, is free to go after being tried at The Hague for violence that left 3,000 dead after he lost an election, and he was suspected of committing it. Gbagbo was the first former head of state to go on trial at the ICC at The Hague in the Netherlands. The violence in the 2010 Ivory Coast came after Gbagbo refused to accept that he lost a disputed election to his rival Alassane Ouattara, as well as the thousands killed. 500,000 people were displaced. Gbagbo was captured in 2011 by the UN and French-backed forces supporting Ouattara. ICC judges said the prosecution had failed to prove the several charges against him and have ordered his immediate release. So that's good for him. Hopefully, that people actually helped him in that violence do get their everything kind of sorted out there, because that's very important. All right, so back to the States now. The UNC chancellor has announced the removal of a Silent Sam Confederate statue. So that's interesting. The last remnants of the controversial Confederate statue known as Silent Sam have been or will be removed. School's chancellor has announced at the beginning of the academic year, protesters tore down the statue, but the base and commemorative plaque that remained on campus will now be taken away. So Chancellor Carol Folt initially planned to move the statue to a new $5.3 million building to keep it away from protesters, but has now removed it completely after an outcry from students who say it's a symbol of white supremacy. And I think they would be right in that estimation. It's very interesting. We don't always see something like that happen and take to fruition. That really kind of incredibly easily, like that. Like the fact that we're able to see such immediate action being taken on the situation by a university is very, very encouraging, because that's not something that we often get. So, so she said, quote, "The presence of the remaining parts of the monument on the campus poses a continuing threat to both the personal safety and well-being of our community." Late Monday night and early Tuesday morning, students were gathering at the site to celebrate the last parts of the statue being removed. So that's they should celebrate. They've done some pretty good work there on that front. Now, from one college to another in UC Irvine, a frat there has suspended. One of its has been suspended after an 18-year-old student was found dead in a home near campus. Noah Domingo of La Crescenta, that is, not LA Crescenta, California, has been found dead in bed Saturday morning. The causes of his death are still under investigation. Domingo was a first-year biological sciences major and member of Sigma Alpha Epsilon. While the fraternity hasn't been blamed for his death, UC Irvine placed it under interim suspension until the investigation reaches its conclusion. Edgar J. Dormito, the school's interim vice chancellor for student affairs, wrote to students, "It would be closely examining the larger context in which this tragedy occurred, and will be working within the Greek community to help ensure that they're engaging in behaviors and practices that are in line with the university's policies and their own values." The fraternity said it was heartbroken again by Domingo's untimely death, and it continues again the large path and large history of frat-associated violence and death has actually happened at a numerous number of schools. All right, so we now turn to Kim Kardashian and Kanye. We're gonna do a little celebrity news now. Oh my gosh. Because Kim Kardashian and Kanye have confirmed that they're expecting a fourth baby via surrogacy. Kim and Kanye, they've announced it. They made it official as Kardashian made the announcement on Watch What Happens Live with host Andy Cohen and said she licked his lip when she's had a bit too much to drink at a festive gathering, saying, Cohen asked her, "Are you working on a child?" "Yes, we are," she responded. "It's a boy. I think it's been out there. I got drunk at our Christmas Eve party and told some people. I can't remember who I told because I never get drunk. Rumors on the pregnancy have been swirling around now for weeks, but Kardashian and husband Kanye have declined to comment until now. The baby is expected to be born in May and will join siblings Northwest, St. West, and Chicago West. All right, so that's good for them. I don't really care. But for all those you do out there, hopefully just gets Kanye back on track. That's all I'm hoping here. All right. Now, really one devastating 1-2 punch for victims of these wildfires in California. As residents of hundreds of homes in burn areas from last year's California wildfires have been told to flee once again as a Pacific storm threatened to trigger lethal mudslides in its wake. Mandatory evacuations were ordered Monday for a dozen areas in the Holy Fire, which devastated parts of Cleveland National Forest last August. One of the quotes from the evacuation was like, "People in these zones must go now. Rainstorms carry the potential for dangerous debris that can send mud, boulders, and trees crashing down hillsides with no warning," Riverside County statement said. In Santa Barbara, the evacuation orders were set to take effect Tuesday morning, with a county statement saying, "Gather family members, pets, and essential items. Roads could be blocked and leave people near evacuation areas stranded," the county warned. Forecasters say a series of storms could continue to bring rain and snow into the middle of the week, with flash flood warnings issued for burn areas in LA, Ventura, and Santa Barbara. Finally, though, a pretty cool moment, an unknown New Jersey teen has emerged to land the lead role in Steven Spielberg's West Side Story reboot, NJ.com reports. The director announced Monday that Rachel Ziegler of Clifton will play Maria in the reboot of the classic Broadway musical, an Academy Award-winning film, saying, quote, "When I played Maria on stage a few summers ago, I can never imagine that I'd be taking on the role again in Steven Spielberg's West Side Story," Ziegler wrote on Instagram Monday. "I send a huge thank you to everyone who helped make this possible. As a Colombian-American woman growing up in this day and age, strong roles like Maria are important." Broadway stars like Ariana DeBose, David Alvarez will play Anito and Bernardo in the film, respectively. Josh Andreas Rivera has been cast as Chino. According to NJ.com, Ziegler first played Maria in a performing arts school presentation of the West Side Story at Bergen PAC in 2017. She'd submitted videos of her singing Tonight and Me Siento Hermosa as part of her audition. Spielberg said Monday that he always intended to cast the roles of Maria, as well as Anita, Bernardo, Chino, and the Sharks with Latina and Latino actors, saying, quote, "I'm so happy that we've assembled a cast that reflects the astonishing depth of talent in America's multifaceted Hispanic community." Yeah, so that is some pretty cool stuff. So shout out to Rachel for killing it there on that front. So yeah, that's what we got for you today. That's the news. You're all caught up. Go out there, have a great day. My name's Spencer Walsh. It's been the Wake Up.